Welcome to VitaFriends Voices, a podcast brought to you by Vitaflo, where we will share your stories. Each episode will bring you engaging interviews with inspiring individuals who are either living with a protein disorder or are experts at the forefront of their field. The focus of today's episode is phenylketonuria, or PKU for short. And our guest today is 16-year-old Daragh, who will be discussing with us his very own journey with PKU from a teenager's perspective. So, Kit, as our resident specialist dietitian, could you quickly explain to the audience what PKU is?
I can, Graham. So PKU is a rare genetic disorder that causes an amino acid called phenylalanine, or Phe for short, to build up in the body. So people with PKU, they need to follow a special diet that significantly restricts the intake of protein, which is found in many foods and many beverages. So the diet typically includes Phe-free or low-Phe protein substitutes and foods that are free from or low in Phe. So if PKU is well managed, then people like our guest here today can live normal, healthy lives. And today on the podcast, we've got Daragh, who you might know from his team ambassador role with Vitaflo Ireland. So Daragh is here today to talk about his time at school, dealing with his diet and gaining independence, forming friendships, all whilst living with PKU. So welcome to the VitaFriends Voices podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Fab. Well, before we begin, just tell us a little bit about yourself so the listeners and the audiences can get to know you.
Well, I'm Daragh. I'm 16 years old. I was diagnosed with PKU when I was 3 days old. I'm on 8 exchanges a day and I'm a Vitaflo ambassador.
Fantastic. So when you say 8 exchanges, it's equivalent to 8 grams of protein.
8 grams of protein. And then I take three supplements that are worth 20.
20 grams of protein a day. Okay, so 16 total.
Yeah.
Fab. Okay. Right.
And Daragh, can you just take us back and just let's just think about what is your earliest memory of PKU?
I'm not really sure. I think probably my earliest one would be, I remember one time we went to this jump zone, like trampoline park in Dublin. And I just remember there was we're making pizzas and everything. And then we got a little bounce around in the trampolines. That's probably be my earliest memory I can think of. I can't remember much.
So was that a special low protein cookery event?
Yeah, because I think I learned a lot about food and all, and I'm sure my mom did as well, about how to really cook food for me and all the different types of food that we can mix and match.
Right.
And what stands out about that particular day?
I think I just got to, I think it was my first event, so I got to meet a lot of people that were like me with PKU and everything, and I just got to try new foods. It was a fun experience as well.
And how old were you?
I think I was about 5 or 6,
okay.
I'd say.
So a good number of years ago then.
Yeah, it was a while ago, yeah, a while back.
And how did that make you feel mixing with people who, as you said, were like you?
I think it was just because I don't know anyone else really with PKU. Well, I didn't at the time anyway. So it was kind of cool just seeing people that had the same condition as me, because I would have felt a bit different among my friends and all because I couldn't eat the same as them. So it was just nice seeing people that might have also felt that way.
So let's just take you back before that event.
Okay.
And just, did it feel very different? You've indicated there with your friends. How did it feel different?
I think it felt different just because I wasn't really, I was the same, but not really, because anytime we're at a party, like a birthday party, for example, I'd always have to ask for I'd have to make sure in advance that there's always a gluten-free option or there's a low protein option that I can have. I'd always have to ask for something different while everyone's having, let's say, pizza or chicken nuggets. So I'd always have to ask, did they do chips, or is there any different low protein options? Is there a salad they can make me? Just stuff like that. And it was kind of just, I felt a bit different, different from the group. And yeah, just all that.
And how did your friends treat you at that age?
I don't think I was treated much different, but sometimes they might have looked over and what's that over there? What's happening? Why is he asking for something different.
Did they want what you were having, or
No,
No.
well, I don't think so anyway. But yeah, I don't think they wanted what I was having. It's mainly just basic chips and maybe a few bit of fruit. Like, it's not much.
maybe they did want it, but maybe it was more curiosity, perhaps.
I think so. I'd
Yeah.
say it was just, they were just curious because they've never seen someone like this. So
Yeah. And how about now then, when you are out with your friends and things like that? Do they know that you got PKU?
yeah, like most of them know, and like they're very like caring towards me in a way. Like they kind of try and help like anytime they can. If we're going out for like dinner or something, they always like, we're always thinking of like making sure we look at the menu before, and like, yeah, they're kind of just, it's not really noticeable anymore. Like it doesn't matter anymore to me
Yeah.
or to them.
So what was it like having, I guess, taking a few steps back, having those conversations in the first place?
I think it was like a bit, not awkward, but kind of, because again, they didn't know anything about it. I was kind of just like, I was, again, I felt a bit different. They wanted to know what it was like, and it was kind of, I didn't want them to know, but I think because I didn't want to seem even more different. I didn't want to be like the weird one, right? Even though it's not weird at all, but I just didn't want to feel like that. But I think definitely after I told them, and now that they all know, it's definitely a lot. It's not how I would have expected it, like them knowing, like like it doesn't match to them at all. If anything, they like it and they help me and all.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're actually interested.
Oh, yeah, they're very interested, and they're always asking me all the time, like, when are the like new treatments coming out? When will I be able to have one of the treatments? And they're all like excited. They're always like, when are you going to get PegPal, for example? I'm like, I'm not really sure. And it's like, I want to be there for like your first time having chicken or having a steak or something. Like, I want to be there.
Sound like great friends.
Yeah. Not a class. Yeah.
So just for those listening, PegPal is an injection. It's a drug, if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's, it just makes your, make you able to have more grams of protein. I'm not sure, but.
Yeah, there's like a mechanism in it that it allows you to have or reduces your feed levels.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
So you sound as though you've got a lot of supportive friends around you.
Definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And has that made it easier, the transition from different sort of school years and growing up?
Yeah, definitely, because they're very, very helpful with everything. And from when I did feel different, no difference at all. Like, we're all just the same. They're all really helpful. And I used to have a friend as well who had, I think it's CF. I forget what it stands
Cystic
for.
fibrosis.
Yeah. He used to have that. So in a way, we're very similar and all that. But definitely having those helpful friends definitely made it a lot easier along the way.
And what about the wider community? Because you said going back to the trampoline, jumping and pizzas, that was your first vivid memory of having PKU. Did that open many doors for you at that time in that wider PKU community?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say so. Like I got to just meet more and see that it's like there's a whole community that's like me, and they're all going through the same things as me, and they're all like they're experiencing the same stuff. So it's nice to just know that there's someone else there, and I bet they feel the same as me whenever like they're going to them events, that like there's more people there. I'm not different or in any way or anything.
So when you go to these events, do you feel like you can relax a little bit more?
Yeah, I feel like I'm really in a nice group, in a nice area with my with my people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you keep in touch regularly?
I do keep in touch with a few. I'm not like I don't have like, I meet people at events, but I always forget to grab their number or anything. So, but I do keep in touch with a few, especially ones that I've met like during this ambassador program.
And we'll come on to the ambassador program a little later in the episode.
Yeah.
But for people watching this, you spoke a few moments ago about how you told your friends
Yeah.
So have you got any tips for people watching this who may be going through that period now and they're wondering how they can tell their friends about their PKU?
I think just like most of the time, like you might overthink. Like I definitely did. I definitely over thought about like telling my friends. I didn't want to seem weird around. But like if you just do it, they're most likely, I'd say 99.9% of the time, they're gonna want to help. They're gonna be curious. They're gonna want to know about it. Like, and they're just gonna find like they're gonna be excited for any new like any things that they can help you with. Like they're obviously always gonna help. So I wouldn't be worrying. I wouldn't be afraid or anything. I would definitely 100% go for it.
Were you nervous before telling them?
I was nervous. I would say I'll be nervous, but I don't think after I've done it, after I did it and I told everyone, I don't think it's anything to be nervous about at all.
No, that's great. Do you think it helps that nowadays on social media there's so much talk about different diets?
Mm-hmm.
It's like people being vegan, people being pescatarian, people, just eating fruit and vegetables maybe. Do you find that helpful? Or is it?
I'd say it's definitely helpful because not everyone has their own preferences as well. And I don't think the fact that PKU, like people may have PKU, I don't think it's very different because there is, like you said, there's a lot of people that are vegan and vegetarian. But
Yeah, and this is just another.
It's just another one of them. Like it's not really much of a difference.
Yeah.
And Daragh, have you got hobbies? I'm guessing you have.
Yeah, I love playing sport. I love sport and I love listening to music and traveling and all that.
Right. Okay. So very active.
Yeah.
So how has PKU, let's sort of delve into that a little bit. Let's think about the sports you do. How have you managed PKU alongside doing sport?
Just like now I go to the gym and everything and there's like building muscle and all that. It's it might be hard because there's such low protein, but I wouldn't like, I think definitely there's a lot of like alternatives, especially like for energy. If you're playing like a football type of sport, there's a lot of like fruits or like hidden things that like Vitaflo, for example, may provide, or there's always something that will be able to do what protein can.
So you've adapted quickly.
Yeah, like it's not much different. I don't think it's much different to anything else.
Could you maybe give us some practical tips on how you get enough energy in your diet?
Well, really, I just make sure to keep on top of my supplements, my my PKU Express, for example, and just to not really sure, like just keep on top of them. Yeah. I'm not sure.
No, so you take your protein substitutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned that that's 3 times a day, and they're 20 grams of protein each.
Yeah.
Then what do you have in? What do you eat, for instance, to make sure you get enough energy?
I like to eat a lot of fruit as well. Mm-hmm. I love all sorts of fruit. And veg as well. I love veg, and then just everything else. Like I love potatoes, for example. I like to think they're a good source of energy, and the pasta as well, like the low protein pasta. I think like they definitely give me a lot of energy and they help me. And yeah.
So it's making sure that you get that balanced meal, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely.
Which is great.
So balanced diet sounds good.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy every aspect of your diet?
I'd say so. Yeah, like I've learned to just adapt to my diet and get used to it. So I'm not sure of any different, but like I think everything that I eat would be like the same as that everyone else eats. Like I don't see much difference.
And have you had any challenges with your PKU diet? Is there anything that stands out? Any funny experiences?
Not really. Like not that I can remember anyway. Not that I can think of. But I think I've learned to manage with my diet and everything. So I don't think there's much anyway.
Have any of your friends ever wanted to try your protein substitute?
Yeah, a lot of the time.
And do you let them?
I let them smell it.
Okay.
Because like they're always like, let's say for example, I had a sleepover and I'm before bed, I'm making my substitute, and they're like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "It's my soy protein substitute." And like, "Can I taste it?" I'm like, I don't know if you'd want to. But I always let them smell it, and they're always like, "I really want to try it." So I might let them try it someday. But yeah, they're always like, we always wanted to try it.
Have you always been on the same protein substitutes? Or have you tried different ones throughout the years?
I've tried different ones. I've tried like a load from all sorts of things, but I'd say my favorite, the one that I'm on now, is the PKU Express, and I think that's my favorite, just because I like to take it. I prefer to take it as a paste rather than a drink.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's like, it's the easiest one to make as a paste, and it's the nicest like texture and everything. I'm also like a bit on the sphere as well. I take one every now and then, the PKU sphere. I think that's really nice with like a drink. Like if you put a bit of milk in, you put the sphere in, you can mix it like into like a little milkshake even. I think it's really nice.
It's nice to have a bit of variety too, isn't it?
Oh, there's a very wide variety of like all the different protein substitutes.
And flavours.
Yeah.
Have you got a particular flavour?
I think for the PKU Express, I like taking orange. I think it's just because I've been on it my whole life. I've been on orange. So I think I just learned to like it. And if I try another one, it's not really the same. It's not the orange. And then for the PKU Sphere, I love the chocolate flavour. I'll say that.
So sorry, go on.
The vanilla one is nice as well, but I think chocolate's my favourite.
So the orange is linked back to your fruits, maybe, and your love of fruits?
Yeah, I love a bit of orange as well, like just on the side.
Excellent. Good. And let's just think about sort of, you're 16, so you've been through a few transitions, and how have you coped with that?
Well, I don't think, like I haven't struggled with, like the PKU diet hasn't been a big factor in growing up or anything. I've learned to just get along with it, get by it. And yeah, like I think I've turned out well. I like to think I've turned out well. But yeah, it hasn't affected me at all, no.
And have you felt that anyone has supported you along the way?
Yeah, definitely. My mom, she's definitely a big, she's definitely always supporting me, always there every step of the way, always helping me, always giving me food, bringing me to these events and everything. And yeah, she's definitely helped me along the way. And like just the rest of my family as well. Let's say I'm being minded by my brother or by my aunties, uncles, whatever. They're always making sure that I'm okay, that I have food to eat, that I'm always just happy and all. And definitely with like these events and as well, all the Vitaflo events, all the NSPKU, ESPKU, everything. It's definitely just makes you feel more comfortable in like having PKU.
And thinking about the future then, in terms of your education, what sort of ideas have you got in terms of what does the future look like for Daragh?
I think right now I'm not really sure, but I have ideas of like, I think I'm going to study a language in college, and along with another subject, probably business, I'm thinking.
Yeah. And where might that take you then?
I think so. If I'm studying a language, I'm pretty sure the third year, you take a year off to study in like let's say if you choose Spanish, you can study in Spain, French, you go to France, and so on. So I'm excited for that.
You've got a very exciting future ahead of you.
Yeah.
And you mentioned actually earlier as well that you really enjoy traveling. And so it sounds like you can combine your passion for language and traveling
at the
same time.
Sorry?
At the same time.
Oh yeah, I love traveling, and I love learning languages along with it, and I love like trying to like implement what I learn in languages while I'm in like another country. I probably can't speak it well. I probably sound stupid, but I love trying to like speak a language
Yeah.
in the country.
It's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
So just with the traveling, I guess if we take it back to PKU,
Mhm.
you obviously need to take your protein substitute, perhaps low protein foods. How do you work around that?
Well, I always just make sure to like that I have enough with me before I leave when I'm packing. I always even triple check that I have everything that I need. And when I'm on the journey, like I have reminders on my phone as well, just in case I may forget. But most of the time I try keep on top of it, remember, mostly before dinner or after dinner, before I go to bed, when I wake up. So it doesn't really affect me. Or maybe like I might even bring a drink along with me. Like if I'm going to an amusement park, let's say, I might bring one of my substitutes there, just have it as a drink there and just sip on it.
Daragh, you talked about traveling and
Yeah.
you've talked about how you cope with your PKU diet in terms of reminders on your phones.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone with PKU watching this who's about to go traveling, what would be your top tip?
Just to make sure that you're taking your substitutes, and always, again, like abroad or anywhere, even like nowadays, there's a load of options, like to go for a load of low protein or gluten-free, whatever it is. There's a lot of options everywhere. So just make sure just make sure that like you're going somewhere that has a lot. And I'd say like try new foods. Don't be afraid to try new things. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you like trying new foods.
Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite food that you've tried whilst you've been traveling? You can mention a few. That doesn't have to just be one.
Most of the time when I go to Spain, I always like to try some of the like gluten-free pastas they have there, or gluten-free pizzas with like a lot of their vegetables on top. And I think I'd say they'd be my favorite. I've also tried a few like soup and salad dishes.
Right.
I like them. I think there's a lot more variety there. But yeah, I'd say pasta and pizza would be my favorite.
And maybe just circling back, actually, if we're thinking about traveling and say we're in an airport, do you ever bring things with you in your carry-on?
Yeah, normally I'd bring, I'd obviously have my supplements. I'd have maybe like a fruit bar, like a low protein fruit bar, or like a bag of crisps or a few cookies, just something to keep me going.
Yeah. And do they ever stop you in security and go, what is this?
They've stopped me a few times. I think it's just because of the supplements.
Yeah.
But I always have a note, like a letter from the hospital to make sure that they know.
Yeah. So you come prepared.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
So be prepared is another top tip as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably the top tip. Be prepared. Make sure that you have everything planned out, everything ready.
So we sort of talked about education. And I guess before you take that next step, it's also a matter of, at the moment, you're being seen in, I guess, from birth, you're being seen in the pediatric clinic in hospital. And you would then now, you're coming to the age where you're transitioning into adulthood, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
But for you, does that mean that you are moving into a different service within the hospital?
I think I'm moving into, like I was in Temple Street, which is a children's hospital.
Yeah.
And I'm moving into the Mater Hospital now, which is I think it's just a proper thing. And it's going to be different because instead of like the dietitian and the nurses coming to me, I'm going to have to go do it all on my own, go to the dietitian and go to the nurse. And even for my bloods to get my phenylalanine levels, I have to, instead of just getting an email normally, I'd have to go ring in and ask for them, or else I won't get them back.
So there's a few more steps that you yourself need to do in order to...
Yeah, it'll be a bit more of a responsibility.
That's all right. So gain a bit more independence. Sorry, Graham.
Sorry, Kit. More independence, as you rightly said, Kit. So how are you feeling about that?
I'm excited because, like, again, I have been independent over all my diet, all my stuff, counting my exchanges, like the amount of protein I take. And I think I'm excited for the next step into the new hospital and everything.
Have you met any of the new dietitians, doctors, nurses yet?
I've met one of the dietitians at ESPKU.
Yeah.
And it was nice just talking, getting to know like what would be different from Temple Street, the hospital I was in, into the new one. And I think for my last like session in Temple Street, I think some of the dietitians and nurses are going to come into Temple Street and just chat to me, get to know, so I feel welcome and everything in the new hospital.
Oh, that's nice. So you sort of mentioned that you've been independent for a little while. When did that sort of start? Was it a transition or?
I think it was kind of just like as I grew older, I'd say about 7 or 8, I just learned to like, my mom used to count my exchanges and everything, and I think I learned to just do it by myself, make sure, like check the packet, like the back of like a crisp packet, for example, check how much protein, check for a drink if it has aspartame, and just stuff like that. And then after I got used to that, I started to take my protein substitutes regularly by myself. Obviously transitioning to that, I might have, like, it was a bit hard just because sometimes I would have forgotten because I was so used to my mom doing it, but definitely I overcame it. And I think it's a lot easier now that I'm in control of it. But yeah.
So, Daragh, you talk about your independence, how you've sort of developed your own independence as the years have gone on.
Mm-hmm.
What support do you think you need going forward? Because clearly you're an independent person, but is there any support you think you need?
I think just like I just need the what's the word?
Continuation?
Yeah, of support from like close family and friends, just to remind me that it's not bad at all. Like it's no different from anything else, and that I'm sure I'll get through it. I'll be okay.
Yeah. And do you think is there anything from the community that you can think of that would be helpful? Anything from, places like Vitaflo that would be helpful to support you?
I think just like all the events as well, like just the Vitaflo events, knowing that I'm not alone, that I can get through this. Yeah.
So, Daragh, you've talked about your future, and it's certainly a very exciting future ahead. So where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Let's take a Doctor Who TARDIS and we end up in 2035. Where do you see yourself?
Well, I'd like to see myself living like just a happy, stable life. I'd like my diet to be easier, hopefully. I'm not saying that it's hard now. I'm thriving in it, I think. But I'd just like to think that my around PKU, I'd like the younger generation that may have PKU just to feel okay, feel happy, feel comfortable that they have it, because it shouldn't be a problem at all. And I don't think it's a problem from my experience. I'd like to be traveling around the world, hopefully discovering new places, meeting new people. Yeah, I'd like to have my own business, hopefully. Hopefully bringing in the money. Can treat my mum to something nice, to some place nice, bring on a nice holiday.
Daragh, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And to our listeners, if you like this episode, please like and subscribe to this podcast and share with anyone you think might benefit from tuning in. Thank you for joining our vibrant community of VitaFriends. And for more information, please visit our VitaFriends website. We look forward to the next episode.